Hello and welcome. If you're watching this free masterclass, then that means you're passionate about making a difference in society through innovation. Whether you're a government official, a CSR executive, an NGO professional, or perhaps just an individual, for sure you are here because you want to understand how you can make a difference in your organization or perhaps in your local community with the power of social innovation. And I just want to say that I'm really excited for today's masterclass because it's such an amazing feeling to be connected with change makers like you who are not only thinking about themselves but also thinking about what they can do for others, what they can do for our community, and also thinking about how you can amplify your impact. And so, because we're very grateful that you're here with us, you're interested to learn about what you can do, how you can apply social innovation, make sure that you stay until the end because we have a special gift for you. Before we begin our masterclass, let me introduce myself first. My name is Joey Cruz. I am the founder and CEO of Limitless Lab, and we call ourselves the Social Innovation Company. Since 2018, Limitless Lab has worked with various organizations across Southeast Asia, ranging from government organizations, CSOs, corporations, and even startups and social enterprises in co-designing different social impact initiatives. But you see, there's something you should understand. Before I started my own company in 2018, I was also someone like you. I had a lot of ideas in my mind. I was so frustrated with all the problems that we see in our society, in our everyday lives, right? And I wanted to make a difference. But I didn't know where to start. I didn't know how I can create an impactful and at the same time sustainable initiative both for my local community and at the same time my previous workplaces. And that is why this short masterclass has been designed to enable you and to empower you with new skills, new mindsets, the tools and tips that you can use to be able to come up and implement your social impact or social innovation efforts, whether it's in your workplace or whether it's in your local community. This masterclass will also give you tips on how you can enable a culture of innovation in your own organization. Because for sure, many of you who are coming from big organizations, such as government agencies or international NGOs, might be frustrated with some of the bureaucracy that you encounter on a daily basis. That even if you want to implement new programs, new ideas, and new initiatives, you might not have the right resources and even the right support from your management. So here are the topics that we will cover today. First, we'll define what exactly is social innovation and how is it different from the usual innovations that we see today in our world. Aside from defining what exactly is social innovation, we will also share with you some of the projects that we have been fortunate at Limitless Lab to work on as part of our partnerships with several social impact organizations. Then we will discuss why does innovation need to start with empathizing or with empathy. Empathy is all about understanding the needs of our users and stakeholders. This part of the masterclass, we will give you some tips on how you can truly understand where your users and stakeholders or even customers are coming from. After that topic, we will also discuss what are some innovation blueprints that you can use to transform your idea into reality. Now, to be able to create, to finally roll out the social impact project or social innovation that you have been thinking of. We will also discuss how important it is to make sure that your project is sustainable. Even if you are creating a non-profit initiative, sustainability is something that you have to think about early on in the creation of your project. And then lastly, we'll also share with you the power of radical collaboration in enabling a culture of innovation inside your organization. All right, so before we go into our lessons for the day, let me share with you first my social innovation story. I started discovering the world of social development or social impact when I was a student at the UPLB or University of the Philippines, Los Baños in the Philippines. As most of you might know, the Philippines is a developing nation. And here in my country, we do have a lot of problems, right? But that also means that we have a lot of opportunities for innovation and creative problem solving in developing countries like ours. It was through my experience when I was a student of development communication that I was able to build my heart for social development. That is how I discovered that each one of us has the power to create impact and create change in our own communities or wherever we might be, whether it's the workplace, whether you're in a small company or a small NGO or a big company. We can all be agents of change and innovation. After graduation, I worked for a government agency and I had the tremendous opportunity to serve my country by promoting ICT and innovation outside of Metro Manila. While I love my job at that government agency, building my network, learning more, I also discovered that sometimes organizations, especially government agencies, might not necessarily allow for new ways of thinking or innovation. I'm sure many of you would resonate with this, right? Whether you're working for a government agency, corporation, or even an NGO or a civil society organization, cultivating a culture of innovation is always a big challenge. After working for government, I also dabbled on working in an NGO until finally I started my own organization, which is Limitless Lab. And with all my years working with different sectors, there are top three things I discovered as the main challenges or main problems of people like you who want to bring a difference or want to make a change in your community or even at your workplace. Number one, lack of support and lack of funding. I'm sure this resonates with you. Many of us have a lot of ideas, right? Many of us want to start something, and yet we might not have the right support in our organization or in our workplace. We might not have the funding to jumpstart our ideas. This is even more difficult if you're someone who wants to bring change in your local community. Your officials might not be supporting your project or your initiative, or you don't have people around you as well who can help you in this. Number two, also very common, is project sustainability. We've seen a lot of good social impact projects in my country, for example, but oftentimes sustainability is a big problem. Who will run this project, for example, in the long run? Who will be the owner of these initiatives? Even more so, can we make revenue? Can we make money to be able to continue running our operations? And then lastly, another challenge that we see is the prevalence of solution focused projects or initiatives, whether it's in the government or in corporations or even in local communities. While these solutions have good intentions behind them, what we see often happening is that solution focused ideas or projects often fail because it doesn't align with the needs, pain points, and goals of the people we are trying to help. And this is exactly the reason why we need social innovation. Now let's head over to our first lesson, which is what is social innovation. The Stanford Graduate School of Innovation defines social innovation as the process of developing and deploying effective solutions to challenging and often systemic social and environmental issues in support of social progress. While there are many definitions of social innovation that you can find online, here at Limitless Lab, we define it as the co-creation of new solutions such as products, services, strategies, and business models that facilitate sustainable development, leading to greater social equality and acceleration of human transformation. Simply put, we define social innovation as any new or novel idea that promotes social development or social good. The Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015, provide a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet now and into the future. These 17 goals range from eradicating poverty to ensuring quality education, reducing inequalities, and tackling climate change. In fact, the UN recognizes that social innovation plays a critical role in achieving these goals. You see, social innovation is actually not new. In fact, over the years, various government agencies have already recognized the importance of social innovation and have set initiatives to promote it. For example, more than a decade ago, President Obama unveiled the Social Innovation Fund, or SIF, at a White House event. The initiative has since then made remarkable strides. The program boasts over 500 million US dollars in combined investments from various sectors, all directed towards impactful community solutions. The European Commission, on the other hand, since 2013, has been conducting their own European Social Innovation Competition designed to support early stage social innovators across the region. Alright, at this point, some of you might be asking, why am I listening to this? I'm not even working for a government agency or I'm not working for an NGO. I'm working in a corporate environment. How is social innovation relevant for me? Here at Limitless Lab, we believe that everyone should be empowered to become social innovators. You can be a social innovator even if you're coming from a government agency, even if you're coming from a CSO, even if you're just someone in your local community who is passionate about bringing positive change, you can be a social innovator. And even more so if you're coming from a corporate setting or a corporate entity. Why? There's actually this great book called The Social Innovation Imperative. It's one of my most favorite books that tackles about the importance of social innovation and why corporations, especially multinational corporations, should be active in co-creating social innovations. This is because studies show that corporations who participate in social innovation actually align themselves better with customer needs and societal expectations, thereby creating more consumer trust and building brand value. And this often leads to better or higher competitive advantage. Why do we need social innovation today more than ever? Well, number one, we have a lot of social issues in our world today. Poverty and hunger is still very much prevalent, especially in developing nations. Climate change is a problem that we will all have to deal with very urgently in the future. Inequality, of course, there's still a widening gap between the rich and the poor in our world. For us to collectively build a better future for our children and for the generations to come, We all need to work together and come up with social innovation. This approach is effective because there are so many limits to our traditional problem solving methodologies. Traditional problem solving methodologies are often slow, bureaucratic, and most of the time resistant to change. There's also a lack of intersectionality that do not account for interconnected systems that we have today in our society. And most of our traditional models sadly prioritize profit over social impact. So what makes social innovation different? Well, first and foremost, social innovation focuses on long term sustainability and systemic change. It also embraces a multidisciplinary approach, and most importantly, it prioritizes stakeholder input and community engagement, making sure that whatever project we will introduce to our workplace or in our community is really people focused. Let's take a look at some of the examples of successful and groundbreaking social innovation projects across the world. The first example that we have is Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. This one is actually quite popular. Founded by Muhammad Yunus, Grameen Bank revolutionized financial inclusion by introducing microcredit, offering small loans primarily to impoverished women entrepreneurs without collateral. This innovative approach not only empowered millions of women in Bangladesh to create businesses but also inspired a global microfinance movement, earning Dr. Yunus and Grameen the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006. Now, let's go to my country, the Philippines. One good example here would be PisoNet. PisoNet, which translates to 1 peso internet, refers to coin-operated internet kiosks, widely popular in the country. These affordable community internet stations have democratized access to ICT, particularly in areas where traditional internet is costly or scarce. By breaking down financial barriers and accessibility barriers, PisoNet has enabled educational, social, and economic opportunities using ICT for many Filipinos. The last example is also one of my favorites, the lucky ironfish. Addressing iron deficiency, a prevalent global health issue, the lucky ironfish is a simple yet groundbreaking solution. It is a small iron ingot that, when boiled with food or water, releases essential iron to fortify meals. Widely used in regions like Cambodia, this innovation has significantly reduced anemia rates and improved the health of countless individuals. Now, let me share with you some of the social innovation projects that we have been fortunate to work on here at Limitless Lab, of course, in collaboration with our partners. During the early stages of the pandemic, Limitless Lab launched the LGU versus COVID initiative. This digital platform offered local government units real-time data and vital resources to combat COVID-19 effectively. By helping streamline both information and innovation inspirations for LGUs, it empowered local governments across the Philippines to make better decisions, ensuring public health and safety during critical times. We're very proud because since 2020, LGU versus COVID PH has been visited more than 1 million times by both local government officials and citizens. Here's Digital Farmers Program Toolkits, which Limitless Lab co-created with SMART and the Department of Agricultural Training Institute. Bridging the digital divide in agriculture, Limitless Lab co-designed these kits for master trainers of DAATI who then trained our farmers with essential digital skills, training resources, and other technological tools, helping them to transform their traditional farming methodologies to a more modern and digitally enabled one. This initiative has not only enhanced productivity but also helped uplifted the lives of more than 25,000 farmers all over the country. Another recent social innovation project of Limitless Lab with the Asia Foundation is called the Accelerate Women E-commerce Hub. Recognizing the potential of women entrepreneurs in the southern area of the Philippines called Mindanao, Limitless Lab and the Asia Foundation set up numerous Accelerate e-commerce hubs, which serves as a physical platform enabling women entrepreneurs with resources, training, and opportunities to venture into e-commerce, fostering economic independence and helping them to expand their markets. By leveraging online platforms, countless women have been able to expand their businesses, tapping into wider markets and increasing their incomes. As you can see, the possibilities are really limitless when it comes to social innovation. Now, after seeing the examples and case studies I presented, some of you might be excited, some of you might be, hey, I also want to do something similar for my workplace or my community. And some of you might be wondering, what's the first step in starting my own social innovation project? How can I exactly begin in creating my project? Empathy is the first step in social innovation. After all, you can't solve a problem that you don't fully understand, right? And empathy helps you to do just that. Let us go through some of our case studies and examples again previously presented, and let's see how empathy played a critical role in making sure that the solutions created were not only innovative but also impactful because it is aligned with the needs, goals, and aspirations of its target users and stakeholders. Going back to our example of the Grameen Bank, when Dr. Muhammad Yunus first conceived the idea behind it, it was rooted in his first-hand experiences with the impoverished people of Bangladesh. He encountered a woman who made bamboo stools but had to borrow money at exorbitant interest rates, leaving her with virtually no profit. So, driven by this encounter, he started to lend small amounts of money to poor individuals, ensuring that they weren't exploited by loan sharks. But the question was, how could he ensure repayments without any collateral? So this is where his empathy-driven innovation came into play, the group lending model. Dr. Yunus understood the close-knit nature of rural communities and the social fabric that binds them. And so he proposed a system where loans were not just given to individual borrowers but to small groups. In this system, while each member would undertake a separate economic activity, the group collectively was responsible for ensuring every member paid back. So that means if one member defaulted, the entire group would face consequences, such as losing their eligibility for future loans. This model leveraged social responsibility and peer pressure, but more importantly, it was built on trust. He empathized with the hardships faced by the poor, especially women, and he believed in their potential and integrity. He also understood that these individuals, when given the right resources and opportunities, would prioritize their community's well-being and would not want to let their peers down. So what was the result of this social innovation? Extraordinarily high repayment rates that often surpassed those of conventional banks.
The group credit system actually showed that when financial structures are built with empathy, recognizing the real challenges and potentials of the underserved, they can achieve remarkable success. Now let's go back to one of our projects, which is LGU versus COVID PH. In the initial and most critical phases of the pandemic, information was pouring in from all over directions. And amidst this chaos, we at Limitless Lab recognize a particular challenge faced by our local government officials and employees, many of whom we worked with in the past, sifting through the overwhelming influx of national issuances, news, and so many other information that can be found both online and even in our national television. The risk was that vital information could be missed, potentially leading to less effective responses at the local level. And so, empathizing with this challenge, Limitless Lab took swift action. In just about 2 weeks, we were able to empathize, ideate, prototype, and launch LGU versus COVID PH, a platform that served as a tool for local government units, local government officials, containing consolidated, laymanized, and streamlined information specifically tailored for them. And by ensuring that they had access to real-time, relevant, and organized data, LGU versus COVID PH empowered these officials to make better decisions, informed decisions, thereby enhancing their community resilience against the virus. As you can see, at its heart, the initiative was not just about information dissemination. It was about understanding the unique challenges of local governance during an unprecedented crisis and providing a solution that addressed those specific needs. This project serves as a testament to how empathy can lead to impactful and timely innovations.
Before we go to the next lesson, I want you to think about a particular social problem or any challenge inside your organization that you have been very, very frustrated of and at the same time very passionate to solve. As you think about your problem or your challenge, also think about the people that you need to talk to empathize with, to be able to fully understand where are they coming from. Think about their everyday lives. Think about their frustrations. Try to really put yourself in their shoes and understand what are their stakes in this challenge, what motivates them. How can you make their lives better? Or perhaps, how can you get their support for the project that you have been thinking about? Our next topic for this masterclass are innovation blueprints. You see, innovation is a messy process. It involves a lot of creativity, it involves a lot of embracing ambiguity or uncertainty, and that is why innovation blueprints have been created.
Imagine innovation as a giant puzzle with no clear picture to guide you. It's tricky, right? That's where innovation blueprints actually step in. They are our guidebooks, helping us see where each piece fits. Let's explore 5 key innovation blueprints. The first one is design thinking. This method starts by understanding what people really need, by empathizing with them. Then we will go through problem reframing, brainstorming or ideating, prototyping, and testing. Ultimately, it aims to design solutions that fit the need of your target users or stakeholders perfectly. Next would be lean startup. In this innovation blueprint, we begin with a basic version of your idea called an MVP or a minimum viable product. Once you already have your MVP, you then see how it works in the real world, gather feedback, and then refine based on what you learn. In the Lean Startup Innovation Blueprint, we use the methodology called Build, Measure, and Learn. The third one would be Agile Development. And this methodology or blueprint was originally created and used for software development. This approach values quick actions and adjustments. Teams work in short phases called sprints, constantly revising their work based on new insights and feedback. The next one would be the blue ocean strategy. Instead of competing in a crowded market, this method is about discovering new spaces with little to no competition. It's about carving a unique spot, making rivals or competitors irrelevant. The last one would be the jobs to be done blueprint. This method digs deep into understanding why a customer chooses a product or a service. By focusing on the core tasks or jobs, quote unquote, a product does for a user. It aims to design solutions that fit seamlessly into people's lives. Using these blueprints, the puzzle then of innovation can become a bit clearer. They provide us with a systematic approach, systematic steps, and strategies to guide our innovation journeys.
While there are many innovation blueprints and frameworks available to us today, our favorite here at Limitless Lab is design thinking. For us, design thinking helps in unlocking a mindset of innovation and cultivating a culture of innovation in a company, a corporation, or even in grassroots communities. In fact, we've used design thinking to train thousands of people, not only in the Philippines but also in Southeast Asia, on how to create projects that are not only innovative but also impactful. We even brought it to grassroots communities, just like in urban poor communities in some parts of Metro Manila. In this photo, you can actually see some of the trainings we've done in Intramuros and Tondo, Manila, where we empowered housewives to co-design solutions for some of their communities or barangays challenges. Now, let's say, for example, that you've already done your work. You've empathized, you've innovated, you've designed your prototype and your solution, but now the question is, how will you make your project sustain itself in the long run? Sustainability is crucial for enduring social impact. Here are some tools and strategies that you can use and apply to make sure that your project is sustainable.
To truly make a difference, social impact projects or social innovation projects should not be short lived. They should thrive and continue to serve their purpose even after their inception or their creation. Here are three key strategies that you can do to ensure that your project stands the test of time. Community involvement. Anchor your project in the heart of the community it serves. Now, when we say community, we don't just speak of local communities or grassroots communities. When we say communities, this could actually mean the community of colleagues that you have if you're in a corporate setting, or the community that you have inside your government agency. When you actively engage with your community members from the start, trying to understand their needs and integrating their insights, there will be more connection, a deeper connection, and ownership over an initiative. With this community involvement and ownership, it's more likely for your social innovation to thrive and continue long term, even if you are not directly involved anymore in the initiative. The second one, which I think is very important, is to have a diversified funding mechanism and the creation of a business model. Beyond relying on grants or donations, social innovators should learn how to craft a business model that aligns with your project's mission and generates revenue. There's often a misconception that if you have a social impact initiative, you cannot generate revenue. This could not be farther from the truth because I strongly believe that social innovators and change makers should have the skill of generating revenue because otherwise, how can we continue the good work that we are doing for our communities if we don't have the monetary resources to continue operating? So this could include offering paid services, selling products, or creating partnerships. A diverse financial foundation or funding mechanisms ensures stability and scalability. Now, after this masterclass, you'll be given an exclusive access to our full 7-week program. And in that 7-week program, we will go deeper into the different business models that you can create for your social impact project or your social innovation. Third would be exit strategy. Every impactful project should have a vision for its future once the primary initiators step back, whether that means transferring ownership to the community, partnering with a government organization or a local organization who can be the owner of the project moving forward, or integrating it into local governance. It is important for us to have a clear plan for continuity, ensuring that the project's benefits persist even if the original social innovators have already stepped back. In essence, intertwining community engagement with a solid financial strategy and a forward-looking exit plan, if that's in your plan, lays a strong foundation for a sustainable social impact of your project.
Now let's go to our last topic. Why we need radical collaboration to cultivate a culture of innovation. We've all heard stories of the lone genius, the solitary inventor who changes the world from a garage, right? But let's face it, the problems we're trying to solve today, from poverty, climate change, public health, social inequality, and so many more, are far too complex for just one individual or one organization to solve. Solving these issues demand a wider lens. It demands different perspectives so that we can look at the nuances, the interconnectedness of these different complex challenges. And how can we do that? It is through the power of radical collaboration.
Radical collaboration goes beyond just our typical teamwork. It means bringing together diverse minds, experiences, and expertise to unearth innovative solutions that might not be apparent from a singular lens. It's about embracing differences, fostering an environment of trust, and combining our strengths, complementing our weaknesses for a unified goal. So perhaps you're asking, how can you immediately ignite radical collaboration in your workplace? Here's a very, very simple and practical technique that you can do later or perhaps tomorrow with your teammates to jumpstart your culture of innovation. This technique is called the note and vote strategy. This technique is actually very easy, very practical, very simple to do, and something that you can immediately apply right away. So what are the steps in doing the note and vote strategy? It's very simple. So first, all you need to do is to gather your team members. Make sure that you have team members from different departments or from different expertise areas. Remember, diversity here is the key. The second step would be to pose a problem or a design challenge. So it can be a specific challenge or issue that your company or your organization is facing. Number three, very, very important. Instead of our typical open-ended brainstorming where anyone can just speak their minds, usually it's the loudest person in the room, right? Or your boss who's sharing all the ideas. In this part of the strategy, we will do the silent ideation. So what you're gonna do is to provide everyone with sticky notes and pens. Allow a set amount of time for people to write their ideas. For example, it can be 5 to 10 minutes for everyone to jot down their ideas in silence. Now, the next step would be to have the participants or your team members to share and cluster their ideas. One by one, participants will put their notes on a board and briefly explain each idea. As ideas are shared, you can group similar ones together. The next one would be the vote step. So give everyone a set number of votes. You can also use stickers or you can just use your markers for the voting dots. For example, you can give each member 5 voting dots. Then you will ask them to vote on the ideas they find the most promising or impactful. What we're actually doing in this step is to bring out the wisdom of the crowd, right? So instead of our boss or the most senior person or the loudest person in the room giving their idea, dominating everyone, no, we're giving everyone a chance to vote on the ideas that they think are most promising. And then lastly, once we have reviewed the top voted ideas, we discuss their merits. We then course a chart or we discuss what are our next steps for implementation or further exploration. The note and vote technique not only democratizes the brainstorming or ideation process, but more importantly, it ensures that all voices are heard. Because of the silent ideation phase, it allows everyone, including typically our quieter team members, to contribute equally. So in essence, radical collaboration, as mentioned, is more than just teamwork. It's about tapping into the collective genius of a group, and by leveraging on techniques like note and vote, you can invite a plethora of new ideas, ensuring more innovative, robust, and well-rounded solutions.
So ask yourself today, who can I collaborate with to amplify my impact? Because together we can do so much more. Together we are indeed limitless. Now, if you found this masterclass valuable, we have something special for you. We understand how it's very important for social innovators and change makers like you to continuously improve your skills. And that is why we are offering a 50% discount for our 7-week program called Design Thinking for Social Innovation. In this program, you will learn the step-by-step process that we use in all our projects at Limitless Lab on how to come up with projects and initiatives that are not only innovative but also impactful. You will also have the chance to reflect and refine further your personal mission and how it aligns with your social innovation initiatives. And on top of that, you will have the tremendous opportunity to network and connect with like minded individuals like you who are also in the beginning phases of the creation of their social innovation projects. Thank you so much for investing your hour with me today. I hope you learned a few things that you can apply when you go back to your offices or when you go back to your everyday lives. If you're serious about amplifying your social impact, we look forward to seeing you in our 7-week Design Thinking for Social Innovation program. Let's make social innovation happen. Together, let's unlock limitless.